The movie begins in silence, broken only by the sound of a single drum. A young man, Andrew Neiman, sits alone in a practice room at the Schaefer Conservatory, the most elite music school in the United States. He dreams of greatness, of one day joining the ranks of the legendary jazz drummers. One night, his practice session is interrupted by the arrival of Terence Fletcher. Fletcher is not just any conductor, he's feared and revered across the school, known for running the top jazz band and for his brutal pursuit of perfection. Fletcher listens briefly to Andrew's drumming, and then, without a word, leaves. For Andrew, that small moment of recognition is everything. Soon after, Andrew is invited to join Fletcher's prestigious studio band, a place every student dreams of, but one that comes with a heavy price. At first, Andrew thinks he's achieved his big break. But his illusion is shattered the moment Fletcher reveals his true teaching style. He screams at his students, hurls chairs across the room, and tears down their confidence with cruel insults. He tells them they're out of tempo, even when they're not, just to keep them on edge. To Fletcher, fear is the ultimate motivator. Andrew quickly becomes his favorite target. Yet instead of backing down, Andrew doubles his efforts. He practices until his hands are raw, until blood stains his drum kit. Every waking moment becomes dedicated to proving himself to Fletcher. He even starts dating a girl named Nicole, but eventually breaks up with her, coldly admitting that she'd only hold him back from achieving greatness. The tension builds when Andrew is chosen to play as the main drummer in a major competition. Fletcher pushes him past his breaking point, forcing him to compete with other drummers, making them play the same passage for hours until someone gets it right. Andrew survives the torture and finally earns the part, but Fletcher's expectations only grow harsher. Then comes the turning point. On the way to an important competition, Andrew's bus breaks down. Desperate, he rents a car, only to realize he left his drumsticks behind. When he rushes back to retrieve them, disaster strikes. He's hit by a truck. Bleeding and half-conscious, Andrew still drags himself to the stage, refusing to give up. But when he tries to play, he collapses, unable to keep tempo. Fletcher dismisses him on the spot. Humiliated and furious, Andrew attacks his teacher in front of the entire band. It's the end of his career at Schaefer. In the aftermath, Andrew is approached by a lawyer. Other students have come forward to expose Fletcher's abusive teaching methods. One former student, unable to handle the pressure, even took his own life. The lawyer convinces Andrew to testify against Fletcher, leading to the conductor's dismissal from the conservatory. Months pass. Andrew has stopped drumming. His dream seems dead. But one night, he wanders into a jazz club and finds Fletcher performing. After the show, the two sit down for a drink. Fletcher explains his philosophy, that the two most dangerous words in the English language are good job. He believes that only by pushing musicians beyond all limits, through fear, pain, and humiliation, can true greatness be achieved. Then, unexpectedly, he invites Andrew to perform with his new band at a major jazz festival. Andrew accepts. It feels like a second chance. But on stage, Fletcher reveals his true intentions. Just before the performance begins, he whispers to Andrew that he knows he testified against him. Then, out of spite, he calls for a piece Andrew has never rehearsed. Andrew fumbles, embarrassed in front of the entire audience. It seems Fletcher has destroyed him once and for all. Defeated, Andrew walks off stage. But something inside him snaps. He turns back, takes his seat at the drums, and cuts off Fletcher's conducting. Without permission, he launches into Caravan, one of the hardest pieces in the jazz repertoire. The band scrambles to follow his lead. Fletcher is furious at first, but slowly, something changes. Andrew is no longer the timid student begging for approval. He's commanding the stage, playing with a fire and brilliance he's never shown before. What follows is a breathtaking solo. Andrew pounds the drums with every ounce of strength left in his body, sweat and blood flying as he pushes himself past exhaustion. The audience is stunned. Even Fletcher begins to smile. For the first time, he recognizes Andrew not as a student, but as an equal. The film ends not with words, but with a look, Fletcher nodding in approval, and Andrew locking eyes with him in triumph. It's a moment of victory, but also a haunting question: was the price of greatness worth the suffering?